our society at large. We have changed as a society. Our streets have gotten so full of cars that parents are no longer comfortable letting their children go out to play in the streets or on the sidewalk. Their play has changed from running, playing stickball in the street or kick a can or all those traditional types of games, hide and seek, to video games, to television, all those very sedentary activities.
So how do you get the children to exercise? Researchers say the first step is to turn off the TV and video games.
We see that our kids are watching a lot of TV, playing videos, sitting in front of the computer. They're very sedentary activities. The Academy of Pediatrics recommends no more than 2 hours a day of TV for children. And I think that if you sort of put that rule in your house, children will be more selective. They'll watch the programs that they want, and then if the TV's turned off, children will tend to go do something else. So I think it's equally important to get your kids involved in physical activities, as well as to decrease those opportunities to be very sedentary.
Another thing that's important to remember is parents have to be good role models. Children do what their parents do, and if they see mom and dad eating chips and watching TV, that's what they'll do. But if they see us exercising and eating right, they're much more likely to develop healthy habits.
Julie, you're so right. The value of daily exercise cannot be overestimated. Thanks. But there's something you should do before you get started. We'll take a look after today's Healthy Body, Healthy Mind Q&A. What's the one thing most dieters who are successful at losing weight and keeping it off all have in common? Eating breakfast. Starting out your day by eating something makes you less likely to overeat later. If you skip breakfast, you're only slowing down your metabolism. In my practice, I see patients every day who perhaps wouldn't need blood pressure medicine or maybe wouldn't have high cholesterol levels if they exercise moderately for 30 to 60 minutes a day. Here's Carlos Bain.
Walking, pumping iron, stretching. Some say exercise keeps you young. But there's more to it. According to the American Heart Association, cardiovascular disease is the #1 killer in America. Lack of physical activity is clearly shown to be a risk factor for coronary heart disease.
Okay, you want to hold the start button down?
So, here at Shands Hospital, health educator Janine Donato is making sure her patients are moving their bodies and keeping their heart rate up.
It's not just the body that benefits from exercise, it's the mind and the soul. So I look at it as, it definitely is a benefit for mind, body, and soul. It alleviates depression and helps with depression and anxiety in a lot of people.
According to the American College of Sports Medicine and the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, there are many health benefits associated with regular, moderate intensity physical activity. Moderate physical activity is activity such as walking at 3 to 4 miles per hour for most healthy adults. Every U.S. adult should undergo 30 minutes or more of moderately intense physical activity on most, preferably all days of the week. Adults can do this by walking 2 miles briskly. In addition, a person can walk up the stairs instead of taking an elevator, walking instead of driving, doing calisthenics, or pedaling a stationary bike while watching television. Other people who prefer more formal exercise can choose to walk, jog, swim, or cycle for 30 minutes a day. A warm-up for 5 to 10 minutes before aerobic activity is recommended. Janine believes in a mixture of exercise and physical activity and says if you are in questionable health, make sure you have a fitness assessment by a physician or other licensed medical practitioner. This is based on your history of physical activity and helps to determine what your physical limitations are. You should also make sure to have your doctor check your measurements, flexibility, muscular endurance, blood pressure, and heart rate. This way, a workout program can be designed based on your particular needs.
However, if you are in good health, you should be able to get started right away. It is especially beneficial to begin getting some physical activity in before you start a vigorous exercise program. If you choose to exercise, you must begin by stretching.
We will start off with just simple stretching, and that will be their first exercise session. And also, of course, explaining to them where they should keep their heart rate during exercise, showing them how to take their pulse, getting them to take their own pulse. So we do a lot of the basics the very first session that a patient will come in.
So, how do you figure out what your target heart rate is? Janine explains.
Your target heart rate zone is based on your age. There's a formula, it's 220 minus your age. Then you take that number and multiply it by 60%, 70%, and 85%. That's how you get your target heart rate zone. So in other words, a person should exercise, and there are different guidelines. The American College of Sports Medicine has guidelines that are 60% to 90% is where you should keep your heart rate.
Experts suggest that for many people starting out, keeping a moderate exercise pace is also a great way to monitor how you're doing.
We definitely start individuals slow with cardiovascular activity. What I like to do is start out slow and then each week gradually increase the minutes, like what's recommended is to add 2 or 3 minutes onto your aerobic time each week so that you gradually build up to minimum of 20 minutes and then again maximum of 60. But again, ideal is to get 30 minutes in.
The best exercise and probably the most recommended exercise is walking. More than 90% of physicians recommend walking over anything else. Keeping an aerobic routine can be easy. Janine says it's all about keeping it fun and interesting. And remember, the right type of nutrition and exercise can actually improve your life.